Have Don Parkinson with me. We are going to be talking about the planet Sigaia. The planet's consciousness is Aranda, and the solar system is Arisanas. So welcome to the Awakening Cosmic Reality Show, Don.
Hello, Ileana. It's nice to be here.
Thank you. Nice to be with you as well. So can you please explain how you contacted me about the planet Sigaia and what was the situation on the planet?
Well, I was alerted that there was something wrong with the consciousness of the planet, and that I needed to contact that planet. I awoke from my sleep on Saturday, January the 28th at 2 a.m. I had been given a message. I was told to contact the consciousness of a planet. The planet was in trouble, and I was to meditate first and then communicate. I did this, and I woke up and was not able to do that immediately. I delayed it by about 2 days. I was trying to contact some friends that I have elsewhere. That would be, I thought this was a message that had to be directed to them anyway. I was not successful, so I did go into meditation 2 days later, and on January the 30th, I attempted to relay this message to Sigaia, to Aranda. Anyway, I communicated to one of my friends that was in a ship in this area of space. He was he does Stargate repair and that type of thing. So anyway, he told me that the people on the ship had tried to communicate to the consciousness of this planet, but that it didn't go well, and that it was necessary to back away. Apparently some people did die as a result of this attempted communication. Anyway, so what I did to do this activation of this connection was to prepare myself initially on the 30th of January 2017. And I placed myself in what I call Daniel Teague's light shields, which is I placed myself inside a golden Merkaba and surrounded it with 4 layers of thick light. The layers themselves are golden light, silver light, golden light, white light, platinum light, and diamond light. And then I commenced my communication. I did not receive any sort of a response from Sigaia at that time. I just addressed the fact. I told her who I was, where I was, and that I was coming to rescue her. And so that was how I set it up. I don't know what else to add at this point.
And you do energetic work, so you astrally received, I'm assuming it was astrally, you received the distress call from Sigaia.
I am assuming that is correct.
Yeah.
I didn't know who it came from.
Yeah, and your energy work, you attempt to heal places and planets and to put things back in balance energetically, correct?
Very correct, yes.
I just wanted to give people some background on what you do. And then a couple of months later, you reached out to me, I think it was. because I think you had seen some of my interviews on Hukalo TV.
Yes.
So you reached out to me in early spring, and you shared with me the information briefly about, you asked me if I could remote view Sigaia to see what's going on the planet, the situation. And when I did remote view it, I saw like this greenish cloud, this miasmic greenish cloud hanging over the whole planet. It was quarantined because apparently some archons took over the plasma beings that live on the planet, on Sigaia. And these are fully formed sentient plasma beings that are about 10 to 12 feet tall. They're eighth dimensional beings. So that's eight. I'm having a hard time saying it. Eighth.
Okay, you're doing fine.
Eighth dimensional. Number 8. On the 8th dimensional frequency. That's where they reside. And what I saw was that archons are able to possess plasma beings more easily than when you're in a full corporeal body. And I told you this information, and I said that they need healing and to clear the archons from the plasma beings. Now, there's 2 types of plasma beings on the planet. Ones that are more grounded, that live on the ground, and some of the other ones that actually float above the surface of the planet. And some of them, not all of the planet had been infested with archons, but half of the planet was. And the archons, they were the ones that put that miasmic green cloud energy around the planet itself. And it was, the whole planet was engulfed in that green miasma. And the plants were dying on the planet, like living things were starting to die on the planet. So I said that to you, and then we both decided to astral travel to the planet to do some healing. So what did you set up?
Well, I advised the people on the ships to, and I initially placed a golden pyramid, a massive golden pyramid with 2 that I visually created in this space above the planet. I did that on the 30th of January, and I filled it with only 2 things. I filled it with love, and I filled it with the laughter of children, which are 2 great magic things. I then advised those on the ships to do the same and to do it all over the planet in the etheric. When this happened, the planet went immediately into lockdown. I was advised during this following day, because I speak with Candace Craw Goldman, and she's quite sensitive. We're good friends. Anyway, she advised me that they were experiencing a lot of sicknesses and illness on that day on the Earth. And so I decided to extend my shields beyond the Earth. And so I basically staved off any kind of attempts to infect pain or suffering to any being on the Earth. So on the 31st of January, I placed the pyramid directly on the surface of Sigaia. I did try for the next few days as well to stimulate the planet. And what I did with there was I placed lungs in her, a heart, and I applied the thought of the heart beating to this planet. I use light and visualization to affect any kind of change that I would like to have occur.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this is how it all developed. Is there anything you'd like to add at this time?
Yeah, I think we went back in March to check on the planet because I remember that you had contacted me after January, right? A little bit
Yes.
later.
Yes.
And when we went back to see the planet in March, we also cleared that green miasma cloud out of the planet. And because that cloud, that green cloud, was linked to the source of the Archon's energy field that they feed on. Because what Archons do, they put these AI energy fields around planets. And that's their source of food while they infest living beings with their parasitic energy, their Archon energy. So we cleared that miasma cloud, and it started to dissipate the Archons from the Sigaia civilization that lives on the planet. And it was slow work, but I think I also put in some crystal energy into the planet, and the plants started to grow back slowly. So, and I think you did the pyramid again, right?
Yes, I placed it on the surface. I also, what I did to wake her out of her slumber and to help her heal was I placed headphones on my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I work outside at night, and so I have really good radio reception.
Mm-hmm.
So I just tuned into the strongest radio signal that I could find on my little AM/FM Sony Walkman,
Mm-hmm.
which happened to be CIL 650 here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to that intently on the Friday, the 3rd, and I commenced that around 2 a.m. and did so until approximately 9:30 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like an oldies radio station, and I also put a lot of emotion into that transmission so that would be carried as well on the wave of light. Thought, actually, the wave of thought, because thought is the fastest, most instantaneous communication.
Yes.
Anywhere. It's real time.
Yeah, this was done real time. We had both. I think what we did, we went to see Sigaia not in remote viewing or even astral traveling, but in our light bodies on March 20th when we went again together to check on it. Because it felt real time, like we were hovering above the planet and then on the surface of the planet as well, looking around. And it's the first time I ever took somebody with me, actually, energetically, in light bodies. Like I've never gone with anybody else on these kinds of journeys, so it's first time, and I rarely do it with anybody else because energetically my light body is connected to my physical body, so sometimes it can be draining physically, the energy. But this was an exception because they had asked for help, obviously, and they have a system of elders. So they're very connected to energetics, the plasma beings on Sigaia. And one of the elders had sent that signal, the SOS, and reached out to your friends and to you. His name was Raoun. He called himself Raoun.
Yes.
Very tall plasma being. And like I was saying, there's two types. One that float above the surface of the planet, and they sort of have tails. They're blue. And Raoun's people, the elders on the surface of the planet, are kind of bluish greenish. So it came from them, from Raoun's people. They hadn't been infested yet, so they were able to send the SOS signal. And we were able to clean up the planet. Did you ever go back and see if the quarantine was lifted from the planet?
I did ask sixth, seventh, and eighth dimensional consciousness by the name of Theos, who
Mm-hmm.
is normally channeled by Karen Newman,
Mm-hmm.
for their assistance, because they are, as I say, the combined consciousness. And they said that the planet is doing much better right now.
That's good. That's good. I hope the Archons are completely gone, and that what we did cleared away the Archon energies and that miasmic green cloud above the planet.
I should add that on the final day when I was applying this telepathic link of the sound of the singing,
Mm-hmm.
that I felt very, very much that I was being attacked with a black magic called sleep, and so I added an additional layer of protection for everyone and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was silver platinum light, basically to reflect and defer the energy away from Earth, away from myself. It seemed to do the trick, and I was yawning profusely before then. I just couldn't figure out what was going on, but I just figured it was a psychic attack.
Yeah, usually when you're psychically attacked, you're drained of your life force energy. It's siphoned off of you, and you'd feel tired. So, it's part of their tricks that they do. These dark negative entities, and you were aware of it, and you countered it, and you added shielding layers to protect yourself. So you're
Yes.
very aware, and you do other work with healing people as well, energetically.
Yes.
You work with people and animals, and we've discussed that a little bit. So I know about some of your healing background, and you're one of these old souls, awakened souls, and you've been aware of this stuff for a while, about ETs, about other planets, and you connect with people who have similar affinities to energy, right?
Yes. Just the frequency.
Yeah, the frequency. How are you finding Hukalo TV?
I'm very much enjoying it. Actually, it's easy to apply my anything that needs to be fixed. I can do it real easy.
Mm-hmm. And who is Candace Craw Goldman? If you could briefly describe what she does and who she is.
Candace Craw Goldman is a practitioner of quantum healing hypnotic therapy, which was developed by Dolores Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
And I connected with Candace as I was reading at that time books by Dolores Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sort of stimulating my mind, actually. And I found it quite interesting. So I was actually also watching various practitioners who had shared their videos on YouTube. And it just sort of developed from there, increased my hunger or thirst for this knowledge. And it just seemed to flow very naturally.
Yeah, and you had your own quantum healing hypnosis session, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, me too. It does give you some profound information about yourself and what's going on, I find. And you also did some other channeling sessions where you heard from Nikola Tesla.
Yes, actually, I didn't do that channeling. That was Pamela Erlin.
Mm-hmm.
She's a friend of mine on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And she did ask if there was anybody out there that would like to share the information that Nikola Tesla had given her. And I said, sure, I'll do it. It's no problem. And so anyway, I shared that. I eventually shared this with also, I wasn't getting much attention as far as people noticing this and they may have just shrugged it off. So anyway, I shared this with Galactic Connection with Alexander Metters, and from there it just went around the world, which was wonderful.
So what did Nikola Tesla share? What kind of information was provided in the channeling?
He shared his history. It was actually a 9-page transcript that he had shared with a panel of information. It covered various things, and one of the more important things that I noticed was his idea of using copper quartz and magnets to create power. This was quite interesting to me. This is because when you drop a magnet inside, say, a copper tube or a brass tube, the magnet itself will slowly descend inside that chamber. And he said that if you apply quartz to this field, which you can do with via electromagnets or whatever, and you will actually get a plasma discharge which will give you free power. So any vessel that had this capability would be able to travel at unlimited distance on unlimited power, because the three elements combined there would give you that capability, or plasma power. I call them quartz drives.
Yeah, they use crystals in their warp drive technology on engines, and it gives you beyond the speed of light from point A to B ability on ships to do that. And I've heard similar information, so I just wanted to touch a little bit on that, because I briefly read the script, like the 9 pages
Yes.
script that you sent me of that channeling. So I had seen that to me was very interesting information, but I wanted to hear it from your perspective, because you're very familiar with it, and you were originally given the information. And also I recently I heard the term Ring of Archons, and
Yes.
and that word to me was like, didn't feel so good.
Oh.
So I actually went and studied up on Archons, and found Cameron Day's article, where he says never call them Archons, because that actually attracts them to you. If you say the word Archons, you get their attention energetically, and they notice you, they become aware of you. And he said call them ankle biters. Then they don't have any power over you. They never do, and it's you're aware of, if you're aware of what's around you energetically, they don't have the power to mess with you. But he suggests ankle biters. So that really was interesting to me in terms of Archons. I just learned that recently myself, that little piece of interesting information. What did you think about us and Sigaia, and just our interaction, you and me interacting on the light body plane, and just what did the experience feel like to you?
Felt very good, actually. Your frequency and my frequency seem to be very similar. And it was very casual, very comfortable. I quite enjoyed it, actually. It was a good thing to do.
Yeah, and currently I'm not making contacts with ETs because I needed a break. I'm focusing on my own healing. So for me, this was kind of like a one or two time exception, because the planet and its people, Sigaia and its people, did need the healing and the cleansing from the Archons. So I thought I would make an exception for that because it felt worthwhile to help out, and to remove the dark energies, the dark entities from the planet and its people. So it was a worthy cause, and it needed to be done, and it was done by us. So
I was going to add, I did have a webinar today earlier. I did speak with Jim Charles was actually channeling Elijah. I did contact Elijah and explain that I had, and he could see this, that I had established a link directly from Source, then from Source to the Earth, and I had dismantled, by basically dissolved, I guess you could say, the Archon shield around the Earth. And so for myself, it does not exist. So I am channeling any information that Source has directly through my light body and through my physical body as well into the Earth. I'm keeping this channel wide open.
And Jim Charles is the nice channeler who I had met a year and a half ago. He's associated with the Gurk-Vitnir Alliance in Hucolo TV.
That's correct.
And the human colonies. So the information comes through Jim Charles, and there's other channelers on Hucolo TV, just to make the connection so the audience understands how it's all connected. So I also met Jim through Hucolo TV. And I've listened to a few of their webinars. Very interesting. I connect with Takare, the Lyran female being who is on one of the primary Gurk-Vitnir colonies, and she's a Lyran, so she looks like a feline cat, a very tall feline cat. Very interesting. And she healed me to a huge extent. They provided healing. So Hucolo TV is very important in that it provides a connection through Jim and others to make contact with off-world ETs, extraterrestrials, and other positive type beings of higher dimensional frequencies, right?
Yes.
Just to explain what their background and what these webinars are. It just gives people opportunities to ask questions in the webinars and to get answers while they're doing the channelings of ETs and higher dimensional beings.
Yes, I was going to add that these are available on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and then Hucolo TV, and you can see these video sessions.
And they don't charge for them. It's bi-weekly or weekly webinars that happen in the morning. So and anybody can join in.
I should update that. There is a fee now for $10 a month. For people that wish to participate in the questions. But it is free to watch them, as I say, on Hucolo TV on YouTube. You can also go there and communicate in the chat section to the right of the screen if you have any questions, because occasionally these chats are monitored, as was today. And so the host shared that with the guest that was speaking as of today. In today's session.
Yeah, but they don't charge guests to come on. Sometimes they have guest speakers, so they don't charge for the guest speakers to come on.
No.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. I knew something had changed with them. I thought it was private webinars, but I guess the public ones. Well, you know, $10 a month is not, that's decent. It covers their costs, I guess, for equipment, for their time and energy.
That's right.
So it's not a huge
It's like buying a newspaper. Shucks, I'd
yeah.
rather do that than read the paper.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a subscription to energetic work,
Yes.
basically. I think that, do you think we've amply covered Sigaia and the information about our experiences there?
I do believe so, yes.
Okay, so that's perfect. Would you like to add anything else?
And I can't think of anything at this time.
Okay, me neither. So I think we'll end it at that. And thank you so much, Don, for coming on into Awakening Cosmic Reality Show and sharing your experience about Sigaia and how we connected and what happened on the planet. So thank you so much, Don.
You're very welcome, Ileana. Blessings.
Blessings to everybody.
Thank you.